Well, hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody is off to a good day so far. So, today, again, happy to answer any questions that you have. So, you can send a question in via the spaces, or you can do it via Twitter. Mo is monitoring everything and is my wing woman helping me through this. But today, what I wanted to talk about, because I've gotten a lot of questions about this, is about mission statement and core values. And lots of questions about how we did things back in the MK days. Happy to share that with you. And again, as with all these things, it's one way of doing it. It's not the way. It's a way that worked for us. I think the bottom line is that everyone should have a mission statement and a set of core values. And that's, I think every company should have that, and every broker should have it also. And it's basically a set of principles and fundamentals that you operate by, live by, that guide you. And I think we're in a changing environment, and it's important to always stay true to your core values while constantly adapting to change a changing environment, and adapting new things. And if you look at the way the world has changed in the past 40 years, again, not to be redundant because I said this before, but when I started in the business, there were no computers on our desks, no fax machine, no cell phone, none of that stuff. And so clearly we are tremendously in a different place than we were years ago. And now AI is changing the face of the world. And so I think we have to constantly adapt, evolve, change. But I think staying true to your core values is important. So I want to start by reading the mission statement that we had at MK. And I think the mission statement is important not only for the founders of the company, but also for all the folks who work at the company. What does the company stand for? What do you do? Why do you do it that way? What do you believe in? That kind of thing. So, again, our mission statement was Massey Knakal believes that property owners deserve the highest and most sophisticated level of advocacy and representation. We're committed to building upon our tradition of exclusively representing owners, delivering superior results, and maintaining our industry leadership position. We serve our clients with distinction, provide personal and professional growth for our people, and are a positive force in the communities which we touch, while always embracing our values of passion, integrity, excellence, and responsibility. So what this says, and we had this on a plaque on the wall in the office and right in the reception area. And we had a little card made up with the mission statement on it and our values, and it was on everybody's desk. It was on a plaque in the reception area. We had clients come into the office sitting waiting for an appointment. They would be able to see this. And I think a lot of them were impressed not only by what it said, but the fact that we even had it. A lot of places don't have it, but I think it's important. What do you believe in? What do you stand for? That is a critically important thing, and something that everyone could rally around. And when you look at the world through that mission statement, it makes decision making easier. You always go back to what you stand for, and I think it's a great thing. And I think every company should have one, and every individual should have one. What are you doing? How are you doing it? What's important to you? And something that if you are very thoughtful about coming up with your mission statement, when you're faced with challenging decisions, whether they be strategic direction, or you have an issue with a deal or a colleague in the office, look at your mission statement and frame your decision making process around sticking to your mission statement. So, mission statement mentioned our core values. So, our core values at MK were passion, integrity, excellence, and responsibility. And we put them in that order because the first letter of each of those words spells the word peer. So these we call them our peer values. And so peer, by definition, is a platform. a solid supporting structure. It's supported by pillars and its members. It's a path that provides access. So our peer values, and we'll touch on each of these. And again, these were things that you looked at that were things that you lived by, tried to embody, and you made decisions based upon these principles. So, value number one, passion. And passion, I think, is so important. If you look at the qualities that top brokers in the industry have, and we've seen it within our own company, we've seen it throughout the industry, the folks who rise to the top are the people who are the most passionate about the business. And the passion's so important because no matter how good you are always going to have challenging times. And I think that when you're faced with those challenges, you can either fold and wither away, or you can rise to meet the challenge. And I found that the probability of rising to meet the challenge is directly correlated to how passionate you are about the business. The more passionate you are, the more likely it is you're going to break through those tough times. A lot of us are having challenging times today. These markets are really crazy, very challenging in a lot of ways. And I think the folks who are going to come out of this time period the best are the folks with the most passion. So let's talk about passion. And this was the way we defined it. We had several sentences for each of these core values. Massey Knakal maintains a steadfast passion to be the best in the industry. Our people all possess the inner drive to excel at what they do. We are determined to deliver solutions that meet and exceed client objectives. We promote the achievement of this goal by creating a work environment that empowers our people to exhibit the innovation and creativity required to grow and to lead, and by understanding that hard work, dedication, and perseverance are essential elements of success in any market cycle. So again, I think the important thing here, hard work, dedication, perseverance, and passion is the thing that drives perseverance. It's the thing that helps you get through those tough times. So if you're facing challenges in today's market, if you're really passionate about the business, it's going to give you the perseverance, the stick to itiveness, the ability to get through these tough times. And the thing to remember is that coming out of every challenging moment, every down cycle, there are new people that rise to the top. And if you have that passion, that's increasing the probability that you're going to be one of those people that are going to come through it and really do a great job. So that's passion. Integrity. Since Massey Knakkal's founding in 1988, the unwavering adherence to our standards of professional conduct and impeccable integrity has not only led to successful results for us and our clients, it's how we measure that success. The universal commitment to and respect for one another guides us in all of our daily actions. We communicate honestly and directly, thereby instilling trust in our business practices, earning the loyalty and dedication of our team, and the confidence of our clients. We believe the fulfillment of our mission can only be achieved by having the utmost respect for the clients we serve, the people we work alongside, and the communities that embrace us. So, integrity, I think the best way to embody or implement integrity, and yes, it's trite to say, be honest, do the right thing. The easiest way to grasp it is pretend every client is your mom or your dad. Give them the right advice, even if that advice is not in your best interest. But always do the right thing, whether everybody will know or nobody will know. And if you do that, you never have to look over your shoulder. You can sleep at night. It's the right thing. I think it becomes obvious if you're not operating with a high level of integrity. And once you cross over to that dark side, it's really tough to not stay there. So, the best way to implement integrity is just treat your clients like they're your family. Give them what is really in their best interest. And I will tell you that over the years, some of the very best relationships that I have with people have come from relationships that started with me telling them not to sell and explaining why they shouldn't sell. And almost in every case, those people have come back to me in the future, whether it was a year later, 5 years later, 20 years later, because they respected the fact that you gave them advice that you really thought was in their best interest. And the position that we're all trying to achieve as brokers, we don't want to be transaction facilitators, we want to be trusted advisors. We want people to come to us when clients really have a difficult situation. They really need a friend. They need somebody to give them the right advice. And you want to be in that position, because if you come through for people when they're having those tough times, you've made a client for life. And that's the position that you want to be in. So that's integrity. Treat your clients like they're your mom or your dad, and things are generally going to work out well for you. The third of our values was excellence. At Massey Knakal, discipline and will are prized for what they are: the backbone of enterprise and action, of being what you are intentionally instead of accidentally. And that, I want to say that again: be what you are intentionally instead of accidentally. We highly value the consistency and strength of our effort required to succeed in our industry. We have a driving desire to be excellent in all we do. We promote spirited teamwork in all aspects of our business, going beyond individual accomplishments to achieve common goals. The result is success for our clients and the empowerment of our people. And again, I think it's something you don't get to be excellent by accident. It has to be intentional, it has to be well thought out. It requires taking the time to work on your business as opposed to in your business. If you're just working 100% of the time in your business, you're kind of getting where you arrived at kind of accidentally. It's just a byproduct of what you're doing every day. The thoughtful intention that comes from working on your business. What new objectives do you want to achieve? What new initiatives do you want to create? What new strategies and tactics are you going to implement? That all comes in the working on your business part. And I always say that the best time to do that is on the weekend. It's downtime when you can think clearly, think about what you want to, where you want to get to, how you want to get there, what you want to achieve, devise the strategies and tactics that will get you there. And then implementing all of those things will get you where you want to get to intentionally. And wanting to be the best at something is great. Again, read Good to Great, Jim Collins' great book, talking about the difference between great companies and good companies. The great companies identify something that they want to be better than anyone else in the world at, and everything, every decision, every strategy, every tactic is all designed around getting there, and that is the embodiment of excellence. Last core value was responsibility. Massinakal fosters an environment that combines the discipline and hard work that lead to professional success with the devotion to family and personal development that are so vital to a balanced and fulfilling life. We are always accountable to our clients. We treat our people as family, and we have a responsibility to give back to the community and support family, educational, and other locally focused charitable causes. This was something you have to, I think, part of the way we live within a society is giving back. We encouraged all of our folks to get actively involved in a charity, and not just by writing a check, but actually spending time involved in those activities, and making a difference in other people's lives. A lot of what we did at MK, we had formed a charitable foundation. Most of our philanthropic work revolved around helping disadvantaged kids, and there are a lot of them out there, and they need help. And it's the right thing to do. It was a great thing. It made us feel great. It helped people And having that responsibility towards the communities in which we worked was a very fulfilling and beneficial thing. So those were our core values. Again, they were written on a plaque on the wall. And these are things to make you feel like, or make you understand what you're part of. And also, again, it is an aid in the decision making process when you're faced with tough decisions. So again, it was something that worked for us. There are many different mission statements that companies can have, many different types of values. I think the importance is really just to have one, have a mission statement, have core values, and live by them. And it almost doesn't matter what they are. The importance is actually having them. So those were the things that guided our firm, helped us making decisions on personnel, direction, strategies, tactics, etc., and was extraordinarily helpful in the decision making process relative to determining how we were going to deal with certain circumstances. So that's kind of the overview. And again, happy to answer anything. And Mo, do we have questions or anything that are on people's minds?
Not right now, but we do actually have somebody tuning in from Dubai, and we also
Oh,
have Kentucky and Alabama tuning in.
nice. Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Now, I see something down at the bottom. It looks like there are 5 questions, but I can't see them. Can you see those,
Yep,
Mo?
actually, those are just comments. I had commented good morning or afternoon. Where's everyone tuning in from today? Which is how we got those responses about Kentucky and Dubai. So if anybody has questions, please go ahead and pop in, and you can either put your question in the Twitter thread right here, or you can actually request to speak, and Bob will take your questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And doesn't have to be about a mission statement. And Pierre, happy to answer anything. Don't ask me anything about the Yankees, though. I'm too depressed about that to talk about it. But other than any Yankee questions, happy to answer anything that you guys want to talk
All
about.
right, we've got Jason Chaliff is requesting to speak, and let me go to that.
Okay, Mo, can you allow him to speak?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let me see.
If I click on the request, can I do that?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Oh, yeah, actually, it looks like I can. Okay, so I click on the check mark to allow him to speak.
Yes.
Okay, Jason, you can now speak. Look at this, Bob Knakal working the technology.
Bob, it is great to finally speak with you. I've got a brokerage in Atlanta, Georgia. My name's Jason Chaliff. The brokerage is Rise Property Group. Been following you for a while. We've got a team of 12, and I'm so blown away what you've done as an independent broker throughout the years. My question for you, and this is very important to us as we have a very young team, I think most of our agents are under 28. How do you motivate younger agents to do their job, to keep prospecting, to be resilient?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think part of it has to do with seeing that quality within folks before they get into the business. I mean, you have to be a self starter, you have to be motivated, you have to want to succeed. One of the components that we looked for in people when we were hiring them, we looked for PhDs. And no, that didn't mean we were looking for people who had a doctorate from college. We looked for folks who were poor, hungry, and driven, people who wanted to succeed. They had the fire in the belly. They wanted to do the things that needed to be done. And we taught people prospecting is the number one way to be successful in the business. Prospecting always has been my number one goal. And when I started in the business, the objective was to speak to 40 property owners a week and get around to asking them if there was anything they wanted to sell. After a few years, probably mid 90s, that increased to 50 a week and stayed at 50 a week until the pandemic, when I was working from my country house and was making 100 connections a week. And now the goal is 100 a week. But it has to be a focus and has to come from the top. You have to instill in people that if you want to be successful, you have to be prospecting. And I know there are people out there who are going to say, look, Bob, I don't prospect and I make millions of dollars a year. I don't need to prospect. Well, you can make 5 million bucks a year if you're not prospecting. Good for you. You've probably been around for a while and have great relationships with your clients and everything else. But I would maintain that if you adopted a prospecting platform and did it consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, you're going to make $10 million a year. It is the gasoline that drives the engine, and motivating folks. There are a number of ways to do that. If put up on, and my old partner and good buddy James Nelson, when he was in college, he worked at a car dealership, and they would put on the wall a scorecard of how much each salesperson in the car dealership was producing, and it was there for everybody to see. And we adopted that at MK. We had on the refrigerator in each of the kitchens, we had charts that we put up every month, who had made the most calls, where everybody stood on the production scale, the origination amounts, and we didn't have the anybody's earnings up there, but everybody was ranked, and you saw where you stood all the time. And if that is something that was off-putting to somebody, real estate probably is not the right business for them. Everybody wanted to be number one on each of those charts, and that itself is self-motivating. So I think you want to start at the top and preach that prospect. If you're not prospecting, you're not maximizing what you can get out of this business. And everybody, you want to work with the person sitting next to you, but you want to be on top of that list. And so I think self motivation is a huge part of this. You can only motivate somebody so much. But I think if you realize, most people get into the business because they think they can make a lot of money in commercial real estate, and you can. But if you really want to maximize your results, you have to be prospecting. And if you believe that, then you should be self motivated enough to get out there and make it happen.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bob. Can I get one more
You're
question?
welcome, Jason. Sure, absolutely.
All right. Well, we've been in the Atlanta market about 4 years, getting a really good hold on this market. If you can look back early in your career, would you have grown your initial brokerage, multiple cities, multiple states, or would you have preferred just to stay experts in the New York market?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And I say that over the course, we owned MK for 26 years and 46 days. We hit several different inflection points and handled those inflection points differently at different stages. So I'll take you back to the point at which we had all of our sale territories in Manhattan filled. And we were faced with an inflection point where we had to decide, okay, do we start leasing office space? Do we do retail? Do we start to do financing? And we said, you know what? We know how to sell buildings. We don't know anything about those other businesses. Let's open up an office in Queens. And this was 1999. We did it at a time when it was not fashionable to go out to the outer boroughs. I always say at those times, the Manhattan brokers thought their shoes would get dirty if they went out to Brooklyn or Queens. We did. We jumped into the Queens market, hired Tommy Donovan to open up our Queens office. He was previously a Marine and a beat cop working in Queens and knew the streets of Queens really well because he was walking the beat in Queens. And so we got into Queens. Then we opened the Brooklyn office a couple of years later. And that was the right move at the time. Then several years later, we had all the territories in the four boroughs filled. And we were again at an inflection point deciding, okay, do we go to Philly? Do we go to Boston? Do we go to Chicago? We had visited each of those cities several times. We were contemplating opening an office in Chicago because we thought it had many similarities to the New York market. But ultimately, what we decided was that if we went to Chicago, we would have to tell people who we were and what we did. And at this point, we already had years and years and years and thousands of relationships with people in New York that we would end up just providing more services to the people we already had relationships with. So rather than increasing geographically like we had at the last inflection point, we decided to get into different product lines. And this was actually helped. We were helped in making that decision by our advisory board, which had some very, very high powered folks on it, one of which was John Fowler, who was one of the Fs in HFF. And HFF was at the time primarily a debt business. And John said, guys, you got to get into debt. You're doing so many sales. We were doing $4 or $5 billion a year in sales at the time. And John was like, look, you got to get into the debt business. It's a great business. You can staple debt onto your sales. And so we decided to increase the services that we were providing to an already well established client base. So different sets of circumstances at the time. We handled each differently. I think a lot of it has to do with how saturated you've accomplished your objectives within one sector, and then you decide whether you expand to do more services for the people you're already working with, or you increase your geography. So, that's the way we handle those inflection points. Two different outcomes, but based on different sets of circumstances at the time.
Thank you so much, Bob. That's really helpful advice.
You got it, Jason. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
All
Take
right,
care.
Bob, we do have a question. You went over your mission statement during your Massey Knackle days. What is your mission statement now? And then, unfortunately, I am unable to bring our requested speakers on. So the next one would be Brian, and then after that would be Seth.
Okay, happy to bring them on. Yeah, I'm working on a new mission statement now, actually. I am looking at several new initiatives, staying true to the core values. My core values are still the same as they were back in the old days, but constantly adapting to changing things. The mission statement, the core of the mission statement is always the client is first. Think about what's in the best interest of the client, but constantly figure out new ways to serve that client better. And I actually in the process of formulating a new mission statement, which I hope to have done by the end of the month. And we'll be happy to share it with you guys at the time, but it's still in formation, mainly because things have changed so dramatically over the past 8 months with my activities on social media, the map room that I formulated, an AI application that is I can't believe I'm working on an AI application, but an AI application for my land index that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So a lot is changing, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to articulate what my goals and objectives are for the next 5 to 10 years. But that will all be embodied in the new mission statement that's being formulated. So, and we'll be happy to share it with you guys at the time. So I'm going to make Brian Sherman give you the ability to talk. And Brian, I think you are now live. Brian, you out there? Okay, I think Brian may have left. Mo,
Oh,
you can still
hello?
hear me, right?
Can you hear me?
Oh, Brian, hey,
Hey,
how are you?
hey, good. Sorry about that. I was muted. Hey, I just want to say I'm a massive fan and I really appreciate all the content you put out. I've been trying to learn as much as I can and I try to catch any podcasts that you're on. So just wanted to start off by saying thanks for always putting good stuff out. But yeah, so my question
You're
was
welcome.
I'm trying to make a career change, and I have a industrial real estate guy who's been in the business for about 20 years, who's been kind of a mentor. He's been letting me come along with him and do door knocking and prospecting. And I've been reaching out to a lot of the firms in my metro area, but I have not yet got on with the shop. So I was just seeing if you had any advice on when trying to get into the business, like if I get a no from a firm, should I keep following up with them like every 30 days, or do you have any advice on just like trying to make myself more appealing for a firm to take on, if that makes sense?
Yeah, well, I think there's several things that you can do. And I think being persistent is one. I have a buddy that owns a brokerage company that immediately says no to everybody because he wants to see if they'll come calling again. Because how many times does a prospect say no to us? And then what are you going to do? Never call them again? So I would be politely persistent. That's something that we all face as brokers who are trying to make relationships with people. There's a lot of initial rejection, but you have to continue to follow up, be persistent, be as persistent as you can without being a pain in the neck, I guess is the secret. But I think what are the qualities that people who are hiring folks are looking for? They're looking for people who are passionate about the business, articulate, hardworking, show that you're determined. Just keep at it. Keep persistently until you get to the point where you just feel like you've been. If somebody says no a whole bunch of times, you eventually you maybe contact them a little less frequently. But I'd make up a list of all the firms that you have interest in, and I would week after week make sure you're doing the things to try to stay in front of them. Send emails to people who are the decision makers at the firm, and just if you really have passion for it and you really want to get into the business, just do everything you can to go to networking events, go to conferences, meet as many people as you can. And you know what? You just put yourself out there and good things will happen for you. Okay. Brian, any that did got that?
Yeah, hey, I appreciate the advice. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep at it. So I will keep tuning in to everything you put out.
Thanks, my
Hey,
pleasure. Well, you know what? You have two different types of mentalities in the world. One is a mentality of abundance, where you feel there's plenty to go around for everybody, and you help out and you help people when you can. And then there's the zero sum game mentality, where a win for you is a loss for me. I think that the folks who have the abundance mentality generally have a much happier life than folks who think life is a zero sum game. So I've always been happy to help people, and I think if you walk the path of life with that mentality, you have a little bit happier life than folks who think that it's a zero sum game. So I'm always happy to share with folks. So thanks for the kind words, Brian, and best of luck to you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, sure thing. Seth, you can now speak. Seth, what's on your mind? Hey, Seth, I think you're unmuted. You should be able to speak.
Hey Bob, thanks for having me on. My name is Seth Semwitz. I'm from New York City. I've spent the majority of my career in tech, and I built AI for prospecting. We
Hmm.
can source data and then we can cold call for prospects using AI and a clone of people's voices. I just wanted to get your thoughts, Bob, on I know you mentioned your AI project, but how you think AI is going to change the real estate industry, especially as a lot of brokerages sort of have very outdated outlooks on the world and how the business operates, having come from the tech world and now being in the real estate world.
Okay, well, first of all, please email me because I would love to talk to you
I'm actually going to be at
what
the event you're going to be at on Tuesday. Um,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. Well, make sure you come over and say hello. So AI, interesting. I think there's AI is going to change the world profoundly. And I don't want to get too philosophical about this, but I do think it will fundamentally change the way the world works relative to real estate. I think AI has basically this AI 1.0. The AI 1.0 is really quantitative in nature. And the quantitative nature of it is being able to interpret things and do things from a quantitative perspective. AI 2.0, which we're not is not here yet, but will be here soon, is the qualitative interpretation of the quantitative aspects of AI. So it's a kind of a two-level thing. And I think relative to AI 1.0, which is the quantitative aspect of it, I think that right now AI is very effective for doing things like writing neighborhood descriptions, accessing data that is very broad, but not very deep. I think that the potential of AI relative to predictive things is the potential is tremendous, but I think the efficacy of what it can produce now is limited by the fact that I think most data sets are pretty crappy. And so it's the old saying, garbage in, garbage out when it comes to these kind of things. I think unless you have a data set with extraordinarily high integrity, it's going to produce results that are underwhelming. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about my AI application for my land index is that I've spent 3 years creating my data set for New York, for Manhattan land values. I personally verified thousands and thousands of data points, and I've disaggregated the land values, which most companies, if they track land sales in Manhattan, will tell you last year the average price was $422 a buildable foot, which is like saying that the average price last year of a peach, a bowling ball, and a 2x4 was $11.25. It is a completely nonsensical number because each of the different product types for land value perform very, very differently and independently. And so I've disaggregated the data into to residential rental land, condo land, office, hotel, and then a fifth bucket, which is miscellaneous, which has retail, education, healthcare, et cetera. And I have that data going all the way back to 1984. It's a data set with extraordinarily high integrity, and we're doing I don't want to get too much into the details, but the AI application that we're doing to this data set with a whole wide array of macroeconomic metrics is, I believe, going to be able to produce predictive things. So when we see movement in one type of a macroeconomic metric, it may be predictive of what's going to happen to land within the next 6 months, the next 12 months, the next 18 months. And so I think the potential for AI is tremendous, but I think it is limited now by the integrity that data sets have. But I think the AI 1.0 has tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's really when AI 2.0 kicks in that the world is going to be changing. I mean, we're in another form of industrial revolution, and just the way railroads and the highway system changed the world, AI is going to change the world in even more of a dramatic way. And there are several implications for that on society, which we could talk for hours about. But bottom line, it's going to be it will change things very profoundly in the future. And I think it's incumbent upon each of us to figure out how we can utilize it to best advantage our clients. And that's what I've been trying to do with the stuff I'm working on.
Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that there's a lot of companies that have tried to do a lot with data, but they haven't really understood real estate. And like you said, a lot of the data is very crappy. So you're only as good as your data. And people have tried to solve that. You have a unique insights from your career, but a lot of companies. So yeah, looking forward to meeting you on Tuesday, and I'll send you an email as well. My other question for you, just real quick, is a lot of, I think the industry is very split. Is it a good time or is it a bad time to be in the real estate world when it's a down market? You talk to some brokers in New York, they say, I'm not even selling real estate anymore. I'm selling other services to these landlords because I have the relationships and no one's selling. How
Okay.
do you,
Number
how do
one,
you,
it's always a great time to be in the real estate business. Are you kidding me? This is the greatest business in the world. And yeah, there are challenges now, but you know what? In down times, people are getting out of the industry. And so there's less competition. I think it's a great time to get in, learn the business, plant seeds. If you have, in times when you have less transactional volume, you spend some time beefing up your ammunition to take advantage of the eventual return of the market, which will inevitably happen. I mean, the thing to take heart in, the market always has been, is, and always will be cyclical. It's going to come back. So put yourself in a position to take advantage when it does come back. It's a great, great thing to to be in this business, to create value in yourself, create an expertise, create a level of knowledge others don't have, create resources others don't have. I mean, it's a limitless possibilities to do great things in this industry. And unfortunately, there's a lot of folks who don't try to put the pedal to the metal and get the most out of it. But that creates the tremendous opportunity that we all have to do great things. So, is it a great time to get into the business? Absolutely. Always a great time to get into the business. And you behave and implement different types of strategies and tactics based on the environment that you're in. But if you're thinking about getting into it, I say go for it. If you're passionate about this business, it's the greatest thing in the world.
All right.
All
We
right.
have Jesse who asked, how did you stay motivated after the sale of Massey Knackle?
That's a great question. And I really thought about what to do after the sale. And, did I want to buy properties? Did I want to retire? What did I want to do? And you know what? It occurred to me, and talking to my wife about things, that I love being a broker. I love being a salesman. I think it's the best business in the world. It is my career and my hobby. And I said, you know what? I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. I want to get better and better at it. And I just think it's a blast. I've always been self motivated. I always wanted to, when I did something, I immersed myself in it. And now I'm just so deep in, I can't get out and I don't want to get out. So I truly, truly love being a salesman, and it wasn't hard to motivate myself because I think there is so much potential in the business. Again, one of the things that kept driving us at MK that drives me today is in New York City, which probably has as much competition, if not more, than anywhere else in the country. The top 30 brokerage firms, the top 30 brokerage firms handle only about half the sale transactions that happen every year. That to me is such a tremendous opportunity. And so I think the growth potential is amazing, and I just want to keep taking advantage of it. But basically, I love it, have fun doing it, and I more than anything I love winning, and the brokerage business affords you tremendous opportunities to win. It's a win when a client calls and says, "Hey, Bob, I'm thinking about selling my building." It's a win when you get the exclusive signed. It's a win when you sign the contract. It's a win when you close the deal. Lots of wins. I guess bottom line is I'm addicted to winning, and always have been, hopefully always will be. The minute that it doesn't feel great to win, that's when I would step away. But I don't think that day will ever come.
All right. So we have two that have requested. We have Seven Star Houses Properties, as well as Jason is back on. And then, just as a note, we do have people joining us from Paris and from Canada.
Nice. Well, bonjour, or actually it may be bonsoir, it may be nighttime, but hello, everybody. And glad you're joining from afar. Let me see, we have a couple of requests. Jason, you are now live. Hello, Jason. Sounds like you're outside.
Hey, I am back.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Bob, a question I had thought of. What are some of the good things that you are seeing younger agents do, and what are maybe some of the negative habits you see among younger agents?
Yeah, well, some of the good things, I think that I see some young kids working really, really hard. And I love to see people getting interested in real estate at a young age. I think that back in the 80s when I started, very few real estate classes available in college curriculums, a lot more today. Real estate used to be a second, third, or fourth career for people. Today, you have a bunch of college kids that are really into real estate. And I think learning it and becoming interested at an early age is great. So I love the energy and enthusiasm that a lot of those kids have. And bad habits, I think it's not necessarily age related. I think bad habits in the business are just trying to sit back and let business come to you, not go out and aggressively go after it. Again, this business, there's a huge dichotomy between being proactive and being reactionary. And if you've been in the business for a while, you could literally just react to things all day. React to emails that come in, react to texts, react to phone calls that come in, react to questions that your coworkers are asking you all day. When you react to things, you're helping other folks achieve their objectives and you're not achieving yours. When you are proactive and you are driving towards your objectives, it helps you succeed, it helps you get where you want to get to. And so I think that is probably the biggest negative habit that I see is when folks are content being reactionary as opposed to being proactive.
Thank you, Bob.
Sure thing. Okay, next, Seven Star Houses. Don't know who this is, but you're now live and you can talk.
Hi, Bob. Uh,
Hello.
Good evening. This is
Hey,
Salem
how you doing?
from Seven Star Houses from Dubai region. I have some topic. I'm very nervous. This is first time I'm joining your live, but I have some topic about real estate. Like I'm doing since from 2019 for real estate work, and I have great
Right.
knowledge for all industry for your real estate. Like any kind of requirement, I can give within 24 hours and with direct owners and the good benefit with which to trust on me. Like I born and birth here and I can speak Arabic well. I can read Arabic documents well. So I just want to give you guys message like we can win in this industry. Like many brokers, they are working like they are broking trust for client. So we can do here some work and we can give them fair work, and that will be very good and quick work will be done. So every day I'm focusing on fully market. Like every day there is requests are coming for 100 million, 50 million. So there is work, and I have very well knowledge and I have all kind of properties. Just you have to tell me area, this area we are looking, so I can give you five in this same area. So it was very,
Okay.
I'm very nervous. I'm sorry, guys. For next time, I will be okay. But right now, I'm very nervous and I would like to work. As Mr. Pop says, this is passion. So I believe on my dreams and I believe on passion. We have lot of opportunities to win.
Okay, well, first of all, don't be nervous. We're
Fine,
all
fine.
we're all just trying to do well in the real estate business and help each other. So I appreciate your willingness to chat. And you know what? I admire the fact that you had enough courage to get on and talk in front of everybody, although you're a little nervous. But don't be nervous at all. I would love to chat with you. Please shoot me an email. I think there have to be ways that we can work together. And anybody out there, if you have any questions and want to get a hold of me, bob.knakal@jll.com, bob.knakal@jll.com. And please reach out to me. I admire the fact that you got on, and I'd love to talk to you more about how we might be able to work together. But I always love to talk to people who are passionate about real estate.
Thank
So
you.
thanks,
Thank you
thanks so
very much,
much for
Mr. Bob.
your
And definitely, I'm gonna send you email and I'm gonna send you some details of market. There is, I read all market of UAE. I see there is a like 99, 100% chance to achieve our goals. And I believe to work as a teamwork. And I try my best for you guys. We all are team and just need to trust each other and we believe on documents. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
It was nice to talk with you, Mr. Bob, and all of you guys.
Nice to talk with you too, and I really appreciate your sentiment. Yes, we're all working together, we all help each other, and that's a great perspective to have. And wonderful, wonderful to chat with you. Please email me, I'd like to talk to you further. Mo, what else do we have?
As of right now, I'm not seeing any other questions coming through.
Well, anyone else? One last question, or we're going to wrap it up. We're over the hour. This has been great. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. So, again, if you're running a company, have a mission statement and some core values. If you're a broker at a company, and every individual broker should have your own set of values and mission statement that you've thought through carefully. And if you write it down, look at it all the time, it will help. It will make decision making so easy. And again, I think passion, love to see folks who are passionate about the business. Integrity, think that it's your mom and dad that you're representing. What would you tell them? Excellence, have that burning desire to be the best. That is such a motivating thing. Who wants to work hard to come in second? Nobody. Don't come in second. Come in first. Go for it. You only live once. And have that responsibility to help folks in your community, do good for other people, do the right thing, help people that need help. It'll make you feel great. It will help people who need help. And at the end of the day, we're all here to make the world a little bit of a better place than we found it. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the session. Have a great weekend. Any thoughts or questions, DM, email, call me on the cell, send up a smoke signal, whatever you want. But I'd love to interact with you, and have a great weekend working on your businesses, so that Monday morning when you start working in your business again, you go kick some butt and do some great work for your clients. Everybody have a great weekend. Mo, thank you so much for co-hosting. You keep the ship afloat. I appreciate that. And have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.